So I don't really know much about like I don't have much of an interest in Hollywood movies or anything like that. I don't really care about anything involving DC if it ain't Batman. I like Batman. I don't really talk about Superman or Supergirl. Right? I don't really give a shit about any of that. But I have been seeing, like, I guess a little bit of controversy surrounding the upcoming Supergirl movie. It should be interesting. I'm very curious to see how this is gonna play out, because I know nothing. I'm going into this completely blind. I think, like, the actress is, like, doing, like, some classic feminist bullshit or something like that. I don't really know. But, yeah, we'll see. This video is by Amala. Very based. I've been following her for quite a while now.
Supergirl star Millie Alcock is getting ahead of fictitious backlash that she may or may not receive for...
Wait, so fictitious okay. So people weren't even initially upset about the movie, but she was crashing out over fictional, outcry or controversy that she thought was gonna hit, but hadn't even hit, and now people are... And now we're seeing backlash because she decided to crash out over fictional backlash. It's that is honestly peak. That is peak feminism right there. That's how you know you're far gone. All right, the brainworms, the brainworms are starting to enter the old noodle there.
This upcoming Supergirl film by, I guess, blaming misogyny and patriarchy. She says that simply existing as a woman in a franchise like this means that you will face backlash.
Well, that's very retarded. I don't think the Supergirl fans are big haters of the XX chromosomes. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy, Maybe I'm crazy, but if you like Supergirl, then you are probably not a hater of the women.
Let's talk about it.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just crazy, chat. Maybe I'm just a crazy fuck.
Guys, before we get into today's video, please like and subscribe. Today we're going to be talking about Millie Alcock of Supergirl stardom. But you may have seen her before in HBO's House of the Dragons. She played Rhaenyra, a young Rhaenyra at the very least. Now, back in that time, she had comments about patriarchy and misogyny, saying that
my favorite
men who are the predominant watchers of this show were pitting her and another female co-star, or at least their storylines, against one another, and that was a product of patriarchy that was also...
And that's called fan bases. I don't really... You mean to tell me that the fans that really like this series took the fictional characters that you play and the other actress played and pitting them against each other? Yeah, it do be like that. I don't know what to tell you.
Displayed in the show. She called that ironic. Now we're getting another, I guess, patriarchy, misogyny claim from her before the movie is even out here with Supergirl. This happened in a recent Vanity Fair interview, and I'm going to get into the quote here. She says, quote, "It definitely made me aware that simply existing as a woman in that space is something that people comment on. We've become very comfortable having this weird ownership of women's bodies. I can't really stop them. I can only be myself." It's such a weird point to focus, I think, when you're...
I don't even know what that's supposed to mean.
Superhero film, to be talking about patriarchy, talking about the ownership of women's bodies, and saying that you're going to receive backlash for something you have not yet received backlash for. And I can't help but think that there's
very self-centered, maybe, a little bit narcissistic. I don't know.
There's a lot of lack of excitement when it comes to
maybe just retarded
film, and maybe...
Yeah, literally, I heard nothing about this film until this whole, like, controversy, quote-unquote controversy went down.
we're getting ahead of
I didn't even know they were making a Supergirl movie.
And that the release of this film is going to generate by starting to blame patriarchy and misogyny, maybe just a little bit ahead of time. I also think that young actresses today, especially in the wokeness that is Hollywood, are just primed to believe that a lot of the criticism that they receive for their storylines is a product of patriarchy and misogyny. So maybe she just wholeheartedly believes that's what's going to be happening with this film. But we've seen as Hollywood studios, producers, writers, directors, actresses either get ahead of backlash by blaming the audience for their patriarchy, bigotry, racism, sexism, whatever it is you want to throw at them, or they respond to backlash by criticizing the audience and calling them bigots, racists, homophobes, you name it. And I can't help but think this is just a page taken out of the Hollywood playbook in reading this particular quote. And I can lay the groundwork here because we have a ton of examples of Hollywood doing.
I don't know why they do this. It's like they need to keep these actors on a fucking leash or something, because literally these people are the biggest enemies of the product that they're trying to sell. These people do nothing but shoot themselves in the foot most of the time.
Exactly this. You saw that Bridgerton 5, their storyline has been released, is going to focus on an interracial lesbian relationship in the 1800s between
Oh boy, I'm sure. Yeah, oh, that's beautiful. A lesbian interracial relationship in the 1800s. Right. The two things that not even feminism, by the way, not even feminism at the time accepted these two things. Lesbians were not included in the feminist movement. Black women were not included in the feminist movement. This was all a product of second wave feminism in the 70s and 80s. Lesbians and black women were not included in the feminist movement, and you're telling me that you have a story of an interracial lesbian couple in the 1800s? Sure, why not?
Two characters, Michaela and Francesca. Now, fans very aptly pointed out that this is a direct change from the source material that Bridgerton is based off of.
I didn't even know there was source material.
We're supposed to see a white heterosexual relationship between two characters, Michael and Francesca. They were also supposed to...
Wait, so they replaced the dude with the woman? Rebozo.
Experience an entire infertility storyline that has now been taken out of the show because you're dealing with an interracial lesbian relationship. And when you point out that fact, you get called a homophobe and a racist for doing so. And it's how we get quotes like this from Jess Brownell. She is a showrunner and producer on Bridgerton. She says, quote, "I want to state really plainly that there's no place for homophobia or racism or any form of bigotry in the Bridgerton world," end quote.
Right.
But there's plenty of room for changing the source material and the original IP that people cared for so deeply that it made them want to watch Bridgerton on the screen. So
man, fuck the source material. I don't care about that shit. I never seen it, or I don't know what Bridgerton is. Is it like a book or a novel or something? I don't know. I'm uncultured, as you can tell. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about here.
we maybe talk about that.
I'm just going as I learn, chat.
Moments like this from Billy Eichner. He came out with a gay rom-com named Bros. Now, when this
it's pretty gay.
movie did not perform well at the box office,
I'm shocked.
Straight people.
I am flabbergasted.
Let's read the quotes.
My bad, bro. That's my bad, bro. I just didn't really want to watch a gay movie that I've never even heard of in my entire life until now.
World we live in, unfortunately. Even with glowing reviews, great Rotten Tomatoes scores, an A cinema score, etc., straight people, especially in certain parts of the country, just didn't show up for Bros, and that's disappointing, but
maybe make, like, I don't know, better movies, maybe do better marketing. I don't know, but, you know, All I'm saying is that if you make a gay rom-com, your audience is probably going to be pretty niche. Alright? It's like yaoi and yuri anime. These are very niche audiences. A lot of people aren't going to watch this stuff, right? Like, for example, I like yuri. I don't like yaoi. I'm not a fan of yaoi. I've only seen 1.5 yaoi anime. I watched Love Stage. I thought Love Stage was pretty funny, so I ended up watching it. And I started Yuri on Ice, but I didn't finish Yuri on Ice. Number one, because I thought it was boring as shit. I don't know how people like Yuri on Ice. I started watching it. That shit was so boring to me. I don't know. I didn't like Yuri on Ice. And also, Yuri on Ice is a little bit more, gay focused. I feel like Love Stage was a little bit more comedy and more rom-com. So I was able to watch and enjoy Love Stage, right? But that's what happens when you have these like very specific sort of stories, right? You're gonna alienate audiences. You're gonna have smaller niche audiences, right? That's just the truth of it, right? It's not that people are homophobic, is that people just don't want to watch a gay romance. Sorry, I don't know what to tell you.
It is what it is. Everyone who isn't a homophobic weirdo should go see Bros tonight. You will have a blast. And it is special and uniquely powerful to see this particular story on a big screen, especially for queer folks who don't get this opportunity often. I love this movie so much. Go Bros. He loves this movie so much that he couldn't stand behind its performance at the box office and instead decided to blame straight people, calling them homophobic for not wanting to see his gay rom-com. So no, it's not the marketing. No, it's not the story. No, it's not maybe that people don't like you or don't want to see something that you created. It's because they're homophobes. All right, fans who criticize the Rings of Power show, which is based off of the Lord of the
Another
Rings,
thing I have no idea what the fuck that is.
Here's some variety. Some fans have already decided that several of these shows have strayed too far in an effort to give a fresh perspective. The decision to cast actors of color as elves, dwarves, and Harfoots in Rings of Power unleashed a torrent of racist abuse.
Yeah, I don't know shit about Lord of the Rings, so I don't know. Number one, I don't trust the journalists in the fact that they say that it caused a slew of criticism over the casting decisions. I don't trust that statement at all. And number two, if it did happen, I'm curious to know if there's a maybe vital piece of lore information regarding the Lord of the Rings universe that they might be leaving out, and which is why the fans of Lord of the Rings are crashing out.
More recently, with HBO's Harry Potter series, we're seeing a lot of pushback from fans with the casting of a black man, Papa Asidu, as Severus
I did
Snape,
see this one.
saying, hey guys, he's black and that's whatever, but it completely changes the storyline and it changes how we view this character when you...
Doesn't Harry Potter's dad hang the guy? Doesn't he? Doesn't Mr. Potter hang this guy? Not sure how the optics of that would look like. I don't know. I feel like that wouldn't go over too well. It is such a funny random race swap, but I guess if that's what they want to do.
This is very similar to a lot of what the Rings of Power criticism looked like. People were saying not only did you make a bunch of this shit up, but it does sort of change the world as we're meant to be experiencing it. Instead of maybe listening to a little bit of this constructive criticism, we are instead calling the people who levy this criticism racist.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a great way to get people not to show up and for your product to fail and flop.
And when you don't have Hollywood getting ahead of backlash or responding to backlash by questioning the character of those who may or may not have even seen their movie, you have Hollywood telling you outwardly that they want to make you uncomfortable in their creations.
What is the balance of activating a force for change, but also trying to permeate that patriarchy, that power structure? And is that a part of the calculation of your art as well? And what's been the reaction to that?
Oh, absolutely. I like to make men uncomfortable. I enjoy making men uncomfortable.
Very, very smart move. I'm sure that's gonna go well for you. I'm sure making 50% of the target audience, 50% of your customers upset or uninterested in your product.
Not you, just not you.
Not
know,
you.
not you.
Point taken, point taken.
These people are retarded and obnoxious,
But,
dude.
you know,
God, I can't stand Hollywood. Hollywood is full of the fakest, most obnoxious plastic people in the world. I cannot stand these fuckers. There are like 3 people that I like in Hollywood. I can count on one hand the people in Hollywood that I think are alright and that I like.
it is important to be able to look into the eyes
Morgan
of a man
Freeman,
and say,
my goat.
I am here, and recognize that. And recognize that I am working to bring something that makes you uncomfortable, and it should make you uncomfortable because you need to change your attitude. And it's only when you're uncomfortable, when you're shifty, when you have to have difficult conversations that you will perhaps look at yourself in the mirror and not like the reflection. And then
Shut
say,
the
maybe
fuck up.
there is something wrong with the way I think, or maybe there is something wrong with the way I am addressing this issue.
With all that being said, let's get back to Supergirl.
Maybe could there possibly, just maybe, just a suggestion, just throwing that out there. Is it possible that something is wrong with you? Or are we just completely, disregarding that possibility and you're just saying that the issue is me? I don't know. I feel like we're a little too quick to play the blame game here. Maybe reflect on yourself. Look in the mirror once in a while.
Now, we could get ahead of possible backlash by saying that audiences believe they own women's bodies and that women inherently face backlash by virtue of being women, or we could acknowledge some of the things surrounding this film that may lead to a less than ideal response at the box office. This is a spin-off character. Maybe a lot of people aren't interested in that. Maybe they're not interested in the James Gunn style of it all. Maybe this movie has already been shopped around to tester audiences with lackluster responses, even from people who are super fans of Supergirl. Maybe this film is poorly marketed, considering this is the first story that I've even seen about Supergirl outside of having gone to watch Superman and seeing her little introduction out during that film. Maybe it's not because the audience thinks they own women's bodies. Maybe it's because they think they own their wallet and they don't want to open it up to go watch Supergirl. And maybe they...
I know, crazy concept, but that's... And by the way, so is her argument that because of the patriarchy, men think that they own women's bodies? Like, what? I've never heard that before. I think that's the first time I ever heard that.
think you don't own their brain, and you certainly don't have a window into it, Millie. But this is not just a criticism of Millie Alcock and her statement. Honestly, it may have just been a throwaway statement said during an interview that ended up gaining more traction than it actually deserved. It's a criticism of Hollywood as a whole that has been implementing this strategy out of their playbook for quite some time, as I think was substantiated in this video. Take a little bit of accountability and personal responsibility for the way in which your art performs if you care about the performance so much. Don't turn around and blame the audience after they've seen it and didn't like it. Don't turn around and blame the ones who didn't see it. And certainly don't get ahead of backlash by talking about the possible viewpoints of the people who may or may not watch your film. That should be easy enough. Guys, those are my thoughts on these recent comments from Millie Alcock of...
Not sure that should be easy. You know, these Hollywood retards just don't know when to shut the fuck up, because, you know, these Hollywood retards think we give a fuck about what they think or believe.
Supergirl stardom. Let me know how you feel about what she said in the comments down below. As always, if you disagree with anything I said in this video, do get out and do so respectfully. I encourage healthy debate on this channel. And if you like this video, like, subscribe.
I love healthy debate.
I'll be notified every single time I post a video for you guys.
I think you're wrong because you're a woman!
Which is every day. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye, guys.
Yeah, you better.
Alrighty, daddy dippity do.
Yeah, you better.
Super
I mean, based Amala as always, right? She's great, right? We love Amala around here, right? She again, one of the few good ones out there, right? There aren't that many women that I will praise because I'm just super misogynistic. But yeah, Amala is one of them. All right, she is one of them. So, I mean, I completely agree with her. I think, honestly, I don't really understand what the fuck Millie Cox is on about with her fucking bullshit. But yeah, I mean, it's really dumb. I don't know why you would make that statement, right? If your film is already projected to do less than ideal, then you probably shouldn't be saying things that are going to make it even worse. And I just can't stand Hollywood, man. I cannot stand Hollywood. I am happy that Hollywood is failing right now the way it is, because Hollywood is terrible, man. I haven't the last really good movie that I've seen in recent times are literally all kids movies, like the Kung Fu Panda 5, right? It was Kung Fu Panda 5, right? Where Po has his little protege, right? His successor. Yeah, I thought that movie was pretty good. I enjoyed it. The Mario movie. I want to see the Mario Galaxy movie. I really want to see that movie. But yeah, so Hollywood has been producing a bunch of shit. So I am happy to see Hollywood failing the way it has been, because it is full of the most obnoxious people, the worst people, the most fucking annoying activists that are pumping out a bunch of fucking slop and prey on the nostalgia of people to try and make quick bucks because they can't make any good original movies anymore.